three big ones I would say would be, firstly, tell interesting stories. Tell stories that in a way have a conflict at the heart of them. So a lot of brands have told very basic stories. This clean air fights dirt. That's not very interesting. But if we think about some of the great brands, they're often tied up in stories of family struggle, stories. I always think of a great story like Hermès, and they got their famous orange because that was the only colour that was available in Paris during wartime, and so therefore having the orange was a sort of a signal of a little bit of luxury in really bad times, and so it's a very interesting story, and brands collect those stories. So I think that's the first thing, is collect the stories that you have in your history, collect the stories that your consumers say about yourselves, collect the stories from your employees. I then think play the amateur. I think we're often very proud as marketers about how clever we are, how professional we are, but I think people like to see that we kind of make mistakes, that we're a little bit rough, that we, in a way, even if we really understand people, our consumers don't want to feel that we really understand them and that we know them too well. So play up some of the amateurish side, the roguish side of your brand. If you look at your story about the brand, you'll find that there are lots of stories in the past that aren't perfect. So Steve Jobs, for example, cheated Steve Wozniak out of money at the founding of that company, but they've never downplayed that. It says something about the sort of pirate, roguish nature of Steve Jobs, and about the sort of difficult character he may be, but we admire him all the same. And I think so those are two very, very big ones. And I think stick to your roots. I think look at what makes your brand, and never forget that, never stray from it. A lot of brands, when their founders die, forget what the brand was actually about. I think part of the problem for a lot of brands is that the founders know their brands intuitively, but the rest of the people around them don't know it. And so I think it's really important, when you are a strong founder, to sit down and perhaps write your manifesto, or write out what the brand is, so people don't forget. Because Apple became weak because they forgot what it was about. Starbucks has lost their way because they've forgotten what they were really about. And in a way, Microsoft is struggling because Bill Gates is no longer so directly connected into the company. So, stay true to your roots, remember what you actually were founded on, and that'll probably be reinterpreted successfully for the modern age.